What's up, crypto enthusiasts? Welcome back to Wise Staking. I have an extra special video for you today because we just hit 5,000 subscribers, and I was thinking to myself, what could I give to the community that would just be, above and beyond, tool in your tool belt about cryptocurrency. And I decided that that would be my process of evaluating cryptos. So I was sharing this to a very tight VIP group of people the other day who invited me as a speaker, and they found this extremely valuable. So I decided to share it with you guys as a special thank you for 5,000 subscribers. Most of the times, if you were to find out this information, it would take years of work, like it took me. A trial and error and learning as much as I can, or it would be locked behind some type of masterclass where you had to pay thousands of dollars. You're going to find that it's a lot simpler than you think, and everything I'm going to tell you is going to make complete sense. So first of all, when you're evaluating a cryptocurrency, and this is I'm talking about, like, this is after you've learned about crypto, you've invested some in Bitcoin, you've invested some in Ether, and you're like, okay, it's now time to branch out. How do I find out what the good projects are? So the first thing you want to do is do a value gut check on the project. And so I'm going to use Wise token for example. This is my token, but understand that these are all generic. So even though I'm using Wise token as an example, this is going to be extremely valuable for you to use on any cryptocurrency that you're evaluating. So look at the website, look at the white paper. They'll usually have a link on their website. Read through it, do your due diligence to find out what this token does. And think to yourself, is this something that is going to be valuable? Can I see myself buying this? Can I see a lot of other people buying this? And do I see them continuing to buy it for years to come? So with the case of Wise, it is an Ethereum bond. It's a staking token. You can lock up Wise over periods of time to earn interest. Ethereum is the number 2 cryptocurrency that everyone wants. So being backed by Ether and being able to earn more Wise, which can be swapped for Ether, is very, very valuable. People are going to be wanting that for decades to come. So that's what you need to do. Do the value gut check, and don't get tripped up, because people get tripped up by the value check and don't understand that there's many ways that value can be created. It doesn't have to be a lending protocol. There's a Yearn Finance is a really good lending protocol that's done very well this year as far as DeFi, and it's very easy to see where the value comes from there, because they're lending with like Aave and compounds, and they're putting big piles of money out to earn interest. So it's very easy to see, but sometimes it's not easy to see where the value comes from. And don't think that every token has to have a use case. Tokens don't need to have a use case in order to create value. There just has to be a reason for someone to want it. So some tokens are for fun. There's gambling. There's gambling tokens and game tokens and all sorts of things. The thing you got to ask yourself is, what makes this unique? What makes this not able to be copied? What makes this special? What value are they creating where people can only buy this here? And that is what the value gut check is all about. So some things are very, very clear. Like, for instance, Chainlink. The Link token is very, very well. It's like top 20 market cap for sure. And Chainlink deals with oracles. And it's very clear to see the use case. Oracles plug in information into blockchains that blockchains don't know about. So blockchains are, pieces of code. They don't know if you signed a contract or what the price of a certain asset is. They need oracles to be able to tell them. So Chainlinks are oracles, and the Chainlink token is about those oracles that plug in information to blockchain. So that's a very clear one. But understand that value can be created in a multitude of different ways. At the end of the day, you just have to ask yourself, can I see myself buying this, and can I see other people buying this for years to come, and why? What's the unique thing that it brings? So After you do your initial value gut check, you're going to want to look at the market cap. And so the most popular site is coinmarketcap.com. I don't use that anymore because it's now owned by Binance, which is a centralized exchange. So it's not necessarily an unbiased site anymore. Nomics.com is another good one where you can see the market cap. And the reason you want to look at the market cap is because it's very valuable to get a sense of what the market caps are for all the cryptocurrencies and where the token you're evaluating falls within that category. So you can see Bitcoin is at 763 billion, Ethereum is at 140 billion, and after these top two, it's way, way, way down for all the other ones. So you see, 23 billion, and that's Tether. That's a stable coin. That's not like a true cryptocurrency. It doesn't it's not like the usual project that you're looking at. So if you look at like the top 25, you're looking at somewhere between $10 billion and $1.8 billion market cap. That's what it takes to be in the top 20 cryptocurrencies. And this is valuable because as you're looking at a project, you want to look at those projects' competitors and the people that are in the same category and see what are the market caps for those other tokens, because it's going to give you an idea where this may fall, this has the potential to grow into being. So I also want to do a case study here for Dogecoin. So you may have seen some TikToks, people talking about Dogecoin going to $1. And this is where it's very important to understand market cap and supply. Because if you look at it right here, Dogecoin is 1 cent right now. And so to go to $1, it would have to 100x, which would mean that instead of a $1.2 billion market cap, that would have to be a $120 billion market cap. And so if you look at yourself and look at the top and say that would put it at the number 3 cryptocurrency, right under Ethereum. And then you just got to ask yourself, based on what the use case is, so the value gut check, how does it provide value? And Dogecoin is just a meme coin. It's a collector's item. It doesn't do anything besides being a fork of Bitcoin. There's no real value use case besides it being a collector's item. So can I see a collector's item being the number 3 cryptocurrency and 100xing from here? Yeah, probably not. So this is why it's important to understand market cap. And when you're thinking, hey, can this token go to $1? Can this token go to $100? Can this token go to $1,000? Well, you got to look at the market cap, look at the supply, because look at the supply of Dogecoin, 127 billion. So Bitcoin's supply is only 21 million. And so understanding the supply and the market cap and looking at the site is the second thing you're going to want to do besides the initial gut check. It's going to provide a lot of valuable information. All right, so after you did the gut check and then you did the market cap, then you want to look at the team. So first of all, go to their website, figure it out. Is their team anonymous? Are they putting their names? Are they putting their LinkedIn profiles? Do their LinkedIn profiles look good? Does this look legitimate? So this is not to say that anonymous teams cannot make good products, but it is something to consider, whether you have an anonymous team or whether you have a team that is putting themselves out there. Because if a team is putting themselves out there, especially if they live in the US, by the way, then that means that they trust their product. Because if not, if they really did try to scam you, or if they didn't really believe in their product, well, then you could be sued for that. Like, people could go after you for that. So there's no way they would be putting, their faces, their names, their LinkedIn profiles on their actual website. So there's a couple things to consider here with team as well, because there's the aspect of decentralization. So if the product is fully decentralized, then you don't have to trust the team. You just have to trust the code. So there's two aspects of the team and the project right here. It's understanding exactly how much you actually do have to trust the team. So Wise, for instance, is a 100% decentralized smart contract. If this website went down, you would still be able to stake. You don't need this website because it's an immutable smart contract. You could go to Etherscan. You could evaluate it that way. And so the other reason you might want to understand like about the team and who they are is because a lot of projects aren't fully decentralized. So if a project isn't fully decentralized, that means that there's an aspect of trust. You have to trust the team for something. You have to trust that the website doesn't go down if the project isn't decentralized. You have to trust that they won't run away with the money. You have to trust that they are still developing the token and adding things and executing on their roadmap. So these are things that you need to consider when evaluating the team. Now, if it's 100% decentralized, you don't need to trust the team as much because it's a decentralized product. Maybe if it's an incomplete product, you need to trust them to be able to develop and keep on developing the community, paying for marketing, that type of thing. But these are things you have to weigh and balance, how much do I really need to trust the team in this scenario? Next, you need to look at the supply. And so to look at the supply of a token, you need to go to the contract for that token. So it's really easy link for the contract right here, as is on many websites. And you could see, click on the token for Wise, and then go to holders. And this is going to be extremely valuable. If you haven't listened to any of my other points, this is a really, really important one, because if you go to the token and you look at the holders, it's going to tell you a lot, because most projects, you will find that there's some big bag holders, whether that's from the team, whether that's for marketing, whether that's from the founder who owns that, or just some big whale who got in cheap and got super cheap tokens. So you need to know who is holding bags and who owns those bags, because that's going to tell you what your risk is. Because you don't want to purchase this new token that you like and decide to pay for it, and then you don't know about other whales in the system that might sell after you sell large amounts, tank the price, and all of a sudden you've just lost value. So this is extremely important. You are blind if you don't know about the holders of a particular token. So if we look right here, we could see that the number one holder is Uniswap by a long shot, 52%. But if we'd also read the white paper, we'll know that all that money on Uniswap, that's $218 million right now, all this Ether and Wise, it's actually not owned by anybody because the contract burned the keys for the liquidity tokens. So no one can actually remove this. There's no way that this can be removed or rug pulled. And so that's not one we need to worry about because this can't be sold and this is providing the liquidity. So that's another thing to think about. So if your market is on Uniswap, you need to know how much of that liquidity is locked. And for how long and what percentage of the total liquidity is that. If there is only $100,000 or let's say $1,000 of locked liquidity, but the pool is $3 million big, well then that's nothing, and somebody could still take away the rest of the $3 million, leaving you with no way to cash out. So that's something you need to evaluate. But so we already cleared Uniswap. Uniswap was locked liquidity in this case, so we're good to go. Then we go to the next big holder, and there's basically no whales in the system because the biggest holder only owns 3.5% of the tokens. If we went to Uniswap and we saw that, okay, what would happen if that guy cashed out everything? What is my risk? So we go to Uniswap, and then he had just under 11 million tokens, so 10.9 million tokens. There we go. Do I have enough zeros there? We have 11 million tokens, basically. So 11 million tokens, and we see that the price impact is only 6% price impact. So this is very significant because in a lot of systems, you got to be careful because the big whales, if they cash out, can tank the price 80%, 90%, just them alone, or just a few whales put together. So you need to know who the whales in the system are, and then gauge your idea of, how likely is it that they're going to cash out. Okay, so after you've done all that, there is one final thing you need to do, and that is look at the price chart. And this is going to give you a lot of information, but it's also very important that you don't look at it until last, because a lot of people look at the price chart first, and that's the decision that they make. But if you don't have the foundation of knowing all this other stuff, price chart is pretty meaningless. So go to the price chart. First of all, find out how long they've been trading for. So that's going to tell you a lot. If is it an old token? Is there a lot of users? Is this something that is already past the hype? Is this something that is steadily growing? Is this something that had some type of an event in the past and is now slowly, dying away from that event? Or is this something that is steadily stair-stepping up every time a new, product is announced? So you can see it in the case of Wise. It listed on Uniswap at 16 cents. It had, pretty much a hype pump that very first day, went down, but didn't go down back to the 16 cents, consolidated, and has just been going up from there. So this is a very healthy price chart. A lot of price charts you look at, they start high and then they tank down to way below where they listed. And that should be an indication of what's really going on. Probably an indication that there's some greedy developers that are holding big bags that are cashing out, or some big whales that got the tokens real cheap and are cashing out. So after you've evaluated all these things and you think, I see the value in the token, I definitely would want to buy it. I can see the value for other people. The market cap looks good. There's room to grow, 100x. And even at 100x, it would still only be an 11 billion market cap. That would put it in the top 10, but that's a very reasonable idea for something like this. The team looks good. It's also decentralized, so we don't really even need to trust the team. 100% complete product. So we don't even need to rely on them for future developments or marketing. There's a referral program built in. The supply looks good. Okay, there's no big whales that could cash out on my head, so I'm not at risk. I can go to bed. I can go to bed at night and not worry about losing 50%, 80% of my value overnight. And looking at the price chart, I see something that is very healthy. I see people that are wanting to buy. Now with Wise, there's two extra indicators, and that is because there is so much. There's so much Ether backing up the value, we actually get the price appreciation from Ether. So you're seeing the price appreciation versus the US dollar, which includes the price of Ether going up. And so a better way is to look at the Wise Ether chart to see how much value is being gained versus Ether. So this cuts the price appreciation of Ether itself out of the picture and shows you how many people are buying Wise tokens on Uniswap right now. And you could see that this looks even healthier, and that like all these dips are literally just the price of Ether being volatile. So that checks out. And then the last thing that Wise has that pretty much nobody else has is a price floor, which means if everybody holding the token sold immediately 100% of everything, what would the price floor be? And we could see that is 18.8 cents of Ether. So that is not bad, considering that the price can only, like, if you bought right now and then everyone, Black Swan event, everyone sold everything, you would only lose 72%. Like in any other scenario, you would lose everything instantly, but you would only lose 72% if you're the last person to cash out. So even the last person to cash out, the last person holding Wise ever, would only lose 72%. Most people would get back, a lot more than that. So having a price floor is an unprecedented thing. You don't see that in other cryptos, and that's why it's not even included here, because you're not going to find that on other cryptos. So anyways, guys, that is my masterclass. I hope you learned something from that. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.